Greetings and welcome. This is Lord Icon bringing you a mob spotlight of Forbidden Magic created by SpitefulFox. Forbidden Magic is an add-in to Thaumcraft, but it's actually got some things that are a connection between blood magic and between Botania, so we'll cover all of those when we go through this. So if you look at your Thaumonomicon, you've got your standard Thaumcraft stuff, and then down in the bottom side here you see one for apocryphy. I always have trouble saying that one. I'm not sure why. Alright, so you can see here looking at that tab that everything is stemming off of the, most of everything here is stemming off of the infusion. So there has the set of tools and items you can create. Here's some items that are all linking to other mod types. Here are some new tool types, and then we get into the infusion enchantments that can be used within these mods. There's also a wrath cage and some additional wands that are added. So we'll go through it pretty much in that order. We're going to go ahead and start here with the new tool types that are added. So going through the new tool types, the first one is you have the shovel of the purifier, you have the axe of the skull taker, you have the pickaxe of distortion, and then you have the rapier of the Strix. What these do, so the shovel of the purifier is actually used for cleaning up any tainted ground, actually removing patches of taint. It actually does two pieces to that. It can actually clear up the tainted earth really quickly, and it also can clear up spilled or taint goo that comes from crafting. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a wand over here, and I'm going to throw this stuff into the crucible, or try, and right click. There we go. So you can see the goo there that's being created, and you always have to clean that up by either dropping a block or pouring water on it. Well, now you can just right click with the shovel. It's a very easy way to clean up any of the taint that comes or gets created within the world, and it definitely makes life a little easier. The next one up is the pickaxe of distortion. So the pickaxe of distortion, these are all made with things that you can currently get, nothing added from the mod. So as I start getting into like the skull, you'll see that it adds additional stuff. But for now, covering the pickaxe of distortion, it actually does a few different things also. Infused pickaxe with taint, so it's actually infused with the taint. It actually can do, what it does is it makes hard items softer. So if I tried to use this item on standard stone, and I'm going to go ahead and make it daytime real quick. Not sure if anything's going to attack me. I didn't even think about that. If I try to use it on standard stone, on regular mode, you'll see that I cannot break the stone. It's actually really bad at breaking anything that's a softer material. Well, if it's a harder material, it actually, the effects are opposite. So here is some obsidian, and I just busted right through the obsidian. It's actually really quick at getting obsidian. I really like using that for, since the stuff's fairly easy, I can then mine a lot of obsidian from it. The next one up is the axe of the skull taker. The axe of the skull taker actually requires the new items, which are these shards, and I'll cover them just after going through these different items. It also requires some new essentia types, so this one here of wrath, and we'll get through some of those too. So what this does is it actually has a chance to remove the heads of the monsters, so it's pretty much has a beheading, but it doesn't work on trying to cut down trees with. It's just for fighting and beheading. The last one here, which actually if we look at the Thaumonomicon, it's down here at the bottom, because it's actually a join between multiple. And what this sword does, or this rapier does, and you can see some new shard here, and one of the wrath shards here, so we got gluttony and wrath, is this makes it so you can actually pierce the defense of a blood mage. So the problem with fighting a blood mage is every time you go to fight one, they have so much LP armor that it takes forever to get through their LP before you can destroy them. This actually goes right through the armor, so it actually makes it a lot easier to take those guys out. So now to cover some of the shards that have been added. So if you look here, you see the wall of shards. There's 7 primary that are the 7 sins. Forbidden magic being a dark type of Thaumcraft, added in as the 7 sins. Some of the stuff are kind of a darker theme, and you'll see that as we go through it. So the first one here is wrath. You have pride, lust, sloth, gluttony, greed, and envy, and those are used within the different modding types within this mod. There's one additional here you'll see, which is taint. Now all of these additional shard types are all nether shards, and they don't form as in crystal layers normally, but you'll find them creating themselves based upon different acts of violence within the nether. So again, you'll be able to find like the wrath shard when things are fighting or there's stuff blowing up, the pride shard or the gluttony shard around things that are like collecting around one area. And so they're all based around the different 7 sins, and that's where they spawn around. Alright, so now going back to here, there's 2 other things of the collar and pain and the riding crop. These are some add-ins to help with, like the riding crop actually helps with something that you're riding on. So if it's a horse, you can actually use the riding crop to speed them up. You can hit other things with it, but it's mainly for speeding up anything that you're using as a mount. The next one then is the collar of pain. The collar of pain is actually, let's see, does it go in there? Goes into baubles. Oh, and I just dropped it on the floor. So the collar of pain will actually use my LP. It gives you additional vis whenever you take damage. So whenever taking damage, it'll fill up the vis that you have within whichever wand you're holding. So every time I'm getting hurt, it's going to then add additional damage, or additional vis to my wands. Alright, so then the last one of this column here is the Thaumic Cake, which I'm actually really enjoying this Thaumic Cake because it's like the 4th time I've recorded this video, and every time it's full now. So you can see it's a full cake. It looks like a normal cake minus its Thaumic. If I eat some of that, you'll see it takes away really small slivers. There's actually a lot that you can eat out of one cake. And by the end of the episode, this will actually be filled back up. It regenerates over time. So it's definitely a good thing to have around. It's definitely been a benefit during this. To make that, it's not too bad. It does use quite a few of the Essentias down here, but it is a minor in instability. So going down to additional tools, we have the Chameleon tools. There is one of each type, a shovel, an axe, a sword, and a pickaxe. And the Chameleon tools are different in the means that they have additional places where you can store enchantments. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one that's already enchanted because we're going to go through the Chameleon enchants. Excuse me. So what I mean by additional places to hold enchantments, you see right now it has Void Touch. If I shift and right click, you see the top of it turned yellow. Now it has Impact. Shift and right click, and now it has Fiery Core. So I enchanted this one 3 different times on those 3 different sides, so I could carry it around and be able to use each of the enchant types. So all of the items for Chameleon actually have all of the 3 different sides and can be enchanted multiple times for each one. Alright, so next thing is then the enchants specifically for the Chameleon. You have Void Touch, Impact, and Fiery Core. Fiery Core is Pickaxe of the Core. When I mine with the Pickaxe of the Core, I get a chance to get those clusters. When I mine with it here, you can see I just got one of the iron cluster, and that adds that enchant to this. The next one up is Impact. Now I only have Impact 1. I think it only goes up to Impact 1, but what this does is it's a means of mining a full vein of ores. So if I was to pick this, you see I just took out a 3x3 range of all of the different ores. It does make mining ores a lot quicker. That one was only a single, but it would do the same thing with all of the different ore types. The last one I have on there is the Void Touch. Void Touch actually will regenerate the sword, or weapon, or tool. You can see it's bouncing right there. It's actually regenerating. For all of my Chameleon tools, I put this as one of the slots, and I switch back to that when I'm not using the weapon. It makes it a lot easier. I don't have to keep either repairing the item or creating new ones, and you can see now it's fully regenerated. So I'm going to now switch on to some of the other items. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and look at those enchants, and then we'll cover the rest of the enchants in here. So you can see these do require some of these new shards, along with the void metal ingots, and they do require quite a bit and very high instability. So you got to be careful when enchanting with that one. This one's not too bad. It does say a 3x3 area of block, but it right now it seems to only be working for ores, but it is working, so it's definitely useful, and it does work for, it says shovel too, but I have not tried it on the shovel. And then the Fiery Core, that one I already showed, and they also have multiple levels, and you'll see, make sure when you're doing any infusion enchantments that you have that many levels of experience before trying to do the enchant, along with the essentia needed and the items needed. If not, it'll just keep raising this up and cause more and more damage. Alright, so then we have the other type of enchants. You have Consuming, Wrath, Education, Capitalism, and Corruption. So Consuming actually will void all of the additional items that you don't want to pick up. When you're mining cobblestone, dirt, gravel, or netherrack, it'll actually consume those, and they'll be destroyed instead of just falling to the ground or taking up your inventory. The next one is Wrath, and it is pretty much as it seems. Wrath will add the Wrath addition on top of your sword, and it is compatible with Sharpness, Bane of Arthropod, and Smite, so you can make a fairly dangerous sword with Wrath. Educational. Now this one actually is different than most of the other ones. I've never seen one that actually makes it so it drops more experience, but this will actually educate the mods when you go to kill them, and it can give you then additional experience than normal depending on the level of the enchantment. The next one is Capitalism. Does require a full gold block and some of the Nether Demon Hellfire. But what it does is when you kill bad evil mods or villagers, villager gives you a chance to get the full shard. A creeper or a zombie gives you a chance to get a fragment. 9 fragments and you can make emeralds. So it's a really good way of collecting emeralds if you're going to be out there fighting anyway. Alright, the last one is Corruption. Corrupting. So Corrupting enchantment allows you to harvest nether shards, so all of these shards over here, without having to go to the nether. So if I was to have Corruption on my pickaxe and I was to find a shard within the ground, in the ground they're called a infused stone. If I was to harvest an infused stone with a Corruption enchant, it has a chance of dropping each of these shard types, so you don't have to go to the nether to keep farming them. Alright, so moving on to the next part is the Wrath Cage and the Diabolic Fork. So the Wrath Cage, and I'm actually going to break this into two pieces here. First part is for the Wrath Cage itself. It's really difficult to make, very dangerous. It uses a lot of Wrath Shards and diamonds, but what it is it's a monster spawner. It does take a redstone to activate it, and it takes some vis depending on which creature type you use. Now, to get the creature to put into the Wrath Cage, you're going to need the blank inscribing crystal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this. And I'm using extra on purpose because I want to show something later that this mod adds. And so I'm going to need some additional of the taint goo to be all over the ground. And I just missed again. Oh, because it's not bubbling yet. There we go. So it looks like I might be able to make one more here. And still have extra. There we go. 10 and 10. I'll go ahead and do that. So over here you can see I do have a Wrath Cage set up. And over here I have some creatures set up. What I plan to do, and I'm going to clear out some stuff from this previous part here. There we go. What you need to do is you need to inscribe these. And to inscribe these, you need to use the Diabolist Fork. The Diabolist Fork is created on the confusion table with the Thaumium sword. And it's used to then get the pretty much soul or the imprint of the animal. Now, one of the things I did when I first started this is I thought, oh, well, I just use this and I click on the monster or the animal. And you can see it changed colors, but it only imprinted it with entity.name. That actually won't work, and you can't put that within the Wrath Cage itself. What you need to do is you take the fork and you kill the mod with it. Now you can see that I'm got a chicken imprinted crystal. I'm going to go ahead and kill the sheep, kill the mushroom. So now I have a mushroom, a sheep, and a chicken. So once you get those, all you need to do is right-click it into the cage. Now you can see that switched out. I have my cow, and now there's a chicken in there. And it shows, since I have my helmet of revealing on, you can see that it's going to take the feather essence, or essentia, and right here is the feather essentia. And if I go in here, I've got a little bit extra, but it should start actually filling that up. So let's see. It's not actually showing it as filling. What I've noticed though is this thing will suck from the correct essentia as needed. It does look like they're overflowing. So I am going to go ahead and break those for now. Oh, and I just broke the wall. Alright, so you can see here, it's now filling with feather. Nope, still not filling. But I can turn it on, and it will spawn without a player being close by. You don't have to be in proximity, and it'll keep spawning the animal of that type. So I'm going to go back in here real quick, and I'm going to switch this up to mushroom. And you can see the type for mushroom and what it needs. And again, you can have this generating from any type using the furnace or using any other method to be able to get the essentias you needed for your spawners. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. So the next part, I'm going to go back to creative mode, and we'll start looking into the next area. The next area up is actually, I'm going to go ahead and cover a couple of things that are integrated into other mods. And integrated into other mods, I mean This right here is from blood magic, and this is also from blood magic. So I've created a blood magic area over here. And you can see the blood orb here. This actually stores a lot more LP. This is 80 million LP that can be stored. Right now I have stored some in it because there's some other things that are added because of this mod that are blood magic related. So it looks like I don't have that much in my network, so I'm going to go ahead and steal all my life. Alright. So we've got 6,000 right now. I'm going to put these crystals away while I'm doing this. And why did I need stuff in my my LP network? Well, I needed it because there are blood wands. And the blood wand will actually steal from my LP. And I'll look and you'll see I'm down to 13. Down to 4, and before I start losing life, I'm going to take the wand. You can see I've gained some of the Era, Terra, Igneous, Aqueous, and it's gaining that from my LP network. So again, it's able to gain this from my blood magic. So other thing is the blood scribing tool, which I think I've hid in here. The blood scribing tool, when linked to the player, it's already linked to the player, can be used instead of the standard scribing tool, and you no longer have to fill it with ink. Every time you use ink, it's actually going to steal from your blood LP, so you don't have to keep filling that up. So those are the ones that actually mix into blood magic, and you can also see there's some flowers here, and we're going to cover those next. So from the Botania side, so if I go outside, actually one other thing before I get into Botania, it's actually a fairly quick one, which is right here, the Lord of Hellfire. This is used, since as a Thaumcraft player, I always carry my wand around with me, but when I go to the Nether, one of the things I always forget to bring is the flint and steel. And if I was to have my portal burn out, well, now what do? So with the Lords of Hellfire, you can actually use your wand as flint and steel. It can actually light up nether rack, or you can light up a portal as done so. Now I'm going to have to listen to the portal in the background, but it's alright. So for Botania. So looking through here, I'm going to go through real quick and show you guys the blood scribing tools just made within the Arcane Workbench. This one takes a lot to create. This blood orb takes the Ender Eye, the Enrich Eye, the Nether Star, and a blood orb that you're enchanting, along with a lot of different essentias. It's very dangerous to create. Alright, so the Taint Thistle. The Taint Thistle is made with the purple petals. Again, we're doing stuff now from Botania. The Rune of Mana, the Rune of Gluttony, and a piece of Tendril. What this actually does is it will create a plant that can suck up all of the stuff that's overflow from your crucible or from your infusion table or infusion altar. So if I put this down, you'll see that it will suck that up. There we go. And if I grab one of the wands from the Wand of Forest from Botania, you'll be able to see, you can see the stuff within there, and I can link that to the mana spreader, and I can fill up my mana pool because of all of the taint that gets created within my world. Now I did put myself in a little glass bubble here, so I am protected, luckily. Alright, so the next one up from Botania is the Whisper Weed and the Eucalydaisy. Another hard thing to say that he's created here. But what those are and how you create those. The Whisper Weed is, again, using a lot of different things from Botania, Along with grass, you make the whisperweed, moderate difficulty, and uh, the daisy here, I'll just call it daisy, takes a mana pearl along with some other mana stones, runes, and petals from Botania. So you can see both of those here. And I'm going to go ahead and use this creative because I don't have any mana in my mana pool. But what this one does is this one will give me knowledge. So when you're over there doing your crafting in Thaumcraft, you need to have knowledge to be able to spend it to create stuff. So you can see I'm getting low on some of my knowledge. I'm using it up. Well, how do I gain this back? Well, I can go around the world and scan things, and that's how it's mostly done. But now with this add-on and Botania, I can now use this to gain additional. Now, since both of these are right next to each other, I'm going to go ahead and break this one. And we'll do that one next. So I'm going to put this down, and you'll see that it'll start once I link them together. Oh, I got to share. There you go. Now you can see I'm learning. So you can see those little things coming off of it. So I gained 2. I don't know if I unlinked it when I was clicking on it. There we go. So that's what this one does, and it makes it a lot easier than to learn things within Thaumcraft. Now the last one here, the daisy. The daisy is actually specifically for creating one type. And if I go into Thaumcraft, and anytime you kill a node, you get this ethereal essence. But nobody wants to be destroying nodes to be able to get these. You can also get them from wisps, but wisps aren't the easiest things to kill all the time. So what this flower adds is, with the power of Botania, it can actually create those essences. And I'm collecting them already. I have one in my hotbar right here. And if we just watch it for a second, it'll go and it'll create another one. Doesn't take too much, and it's, you know, a good means of being able to collect these essences. Alright, so there, I got another one. The next part is actually just a standard flower. This is not Botania, but this is to help a person doing Thaumcraft research, if you don't have blood magic, to be able to get ink without having to keep going out and fighting squid. You take any rose bush from the world, you throw it into these into the crucible with these 2 types, and you'll get a rose bush. Now I put this rose bush down here. It was just a rose bush, and it grows these little roses. They spread fairly quickly, and I'll go ahead and harvest one of these. And what these do is you take those and you get ink. This ink, it's called shadow ink, but it can be used for filling up your ink within your inscribing table. Alright, so now on to the last piece, which is the cores. We covered the blood wand core, but some of the different ones that we also have is we have an infernal core. These ones are all slightly different. This one holds 150 vis and will slowly replenish its supply of Ignis faster. While in the nether, the wand will also replenish other aspects 10% faster. So again, different areas of where you're going to be, and these things will do different things. So this one here is 150 vis for each type, and it slowly replenishes 10% in every aspect as long as it's being held inside of a taint land. So if you have a tainted area, you go stand there and you're going to be good. Now the wands that are added from Botania are for the living wood. The living wood, along with all of the runes from a Botania side, along with the mana diamond. It is a minor crafting, but what it can do is, once you first create the dormant living rod, you then have to put it in a mana pool to be able to wake it up. And what it does is, let me put this away, and I'm picking up a whole bunch of stuff. You can see right now it has 13 on each type. If I take this item and I have a mana tablet, or any type of thing from Botania that stores, you'll see it's already up to 16%, and it raises 1% each time. The next one in that chain, again, you have caps for each of these. So this is the cap from the Mana Steel nuggets. The next one up is the Dreamwood. There's a Dreamwood rod, and there's then these inert Electrum caps. So again, inert, and then to enchant it, you have to put it into the infusion chamber to enchant each of those items. So that last one being the Dreamwood. Here is the Dreamwood, and you can see that from the charging rate with Botania's Mana Tablet, it's actually a lot quicker. It's a lot quicker to charge up, and it stores more. So it's, if you've been working on Botania and you have some mana pools already stored up, and then you're getting into Thaumcraft, it'll definitely make this a lot easier. So it's depending on your gameplay, if you're more of a blood magic person, or if you're just Thaumcraft, or if you're more of a Botania person, you can actually integrate Thaumcraft into both sides. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed it and you want to try it out in your pack, go ahead and download the Forbidden Magic add-on. It will need, of course, Thaumcraft added in, along with whatever mod types you want to have it working with. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys next time.